Jazmine Tan, YouTube's so-called girl's girl, has been on a wild ride. One minute, she's the internet's big sister, hyping you up with self-love and confidence tips.
Arrogance? Nuh-uh. You don't need that, baby girl.
The next, she's getting exposed for hypocrisy, faking social experiments, and, oh yeah,
Search for ugly boys.
Oh my god.
There's actual results. There's actual ugly boys results.
quietly editing her own little sister's face because nothing says love yourself like a slimming filter. And just when you think it couldn't get worse, spoiler alert, it does. Fake experiments, mean girl energy, and contradictions so insane they should be studied in a psychology class. Jazmine Tan's influencer empire is crashing fast. But how did she go from beloved internet sis to YouTube's latest controversy? And more importantly, is there any way she bounces back from this? Stick around. This is one influencer downfall you have to see to believe. Jazmine Tan didn't just stumble into fame, she crafted it. With over 2.2 million subscribers, she built herself up as YouTube's ultimate big sister. Need confidence? Jazmine had the blueprint. Wanted to master being a girl's girl? She had a rule book. Ever wondered why men weren't obsessed with you? She had a whole philosophy on that too.
Look, I can never be friends with women who don't understand girl code. These are the girl code rules that me and my best friends live by that I think every girl should follow.
Yes, the sacred scriptures of girl code. Surely, historians will be dissecting this for generations. Jazmine had all the makings of a viral star. She was confident, charismatic, and just controversial enough to keep the internet talking. Her advice, packaged neatly, easy to digest, and on the surface, uplifting. But the thing about influencers who sell perfection, sooner or later, people start looking a little closer. And once they did, well, let's just say, the cracks weren't just surface level, they ran deep. So, what happens when an influencer is desperate to prove their point, but reality won't cooperate? Simple. You just make something up. Jazmine's so-called social experiment on Pinterest was supposed to be her big revelation. The video went viral for proving that society treats men and women differently, but there was just one tiny issue. It was completely fake.
Now open Pinterest again,
Okay.
and then search for ugly boys.
Oh my god.
There's actual results. There's actual ugly boys results.
Wow, a full-blown conspiracy right under our noses. Except, spoiler alert, Pinterest doesn't even work like that. Search ugly girls? Nothing. Search ugly boys? Also nothing. So how did Jazmine prove her theory? Turns out she manually created a Pinterest board full of images labeled ugly boys and passed them off as actual search results. That's right, she straight up faked it. And honestly, if you're going to fabricate an entire narrative, at least try harder. This was like photoshopping fake texts, but forgetting to remove your own name. The issue isn't just that she lied, it's what the lie represents. Jazmine's entire brand is built on female empowerment, yet she constantly tears men down under the excuse of lifting women up. And as the internet soon realized, this wasn't just a one-time thing. Let's talk about hypocrisy. Because if there's one thing Jazmine has mastered, it's preaching one thing while doing the complete opposite. She's all about self-confidence, tells women to embrace their natural beauty, calls out unrealistic beauty standards, inspiring stuff. So you can imagine the reaction when people caught her using a face slimming filter on her own little sister. Ah yes, self-love, unless the camera catches a little too much, and suddenly reality needs adjustments. The truth is, Jazmine knows exactly what she's doing. Her audience is young, impressionable, and sees her as some kind of self-confidence coach. But what does it say when even she won't follow her own advice? You can't shout love yourself while quietly tweaking reality to fit a highly polished version of what self-love is supposed to look like. And that wasn't even the biggest contradiction. Remember when she spent months pushing the whole men are trashes agenda? Well, things got real interesting when she suddenly decided dating was back on the table. Hold on. What happened to all men are a waste of time? Did I miss the urgent girl code update where we suddenly decided that wasn't the rule anymore? So, which one is it? Are men a disgrace, or are they just conveniently acceptable when the story needs them to be? Because at this point, Jazmine's philosophy is looking less like feminism and more like whatever fits the moment. And then came the moment when Jazmine's perfectly curated girl's girl image started crumbling right before everyone's eyes. Oh, the tragedy. Imagine a woman gasp looking her age, clearly an unforgivable crime. So, let's break it down. Natural beauty is amazing, unless a 21-year-old dares to look like an adult. Aging is empowering, yet somehow terrifying enough for Jazmine to get Botox at 25. Consistency? Yeah, that's not really her thing. But this wasn't just some throwaway remark. This was when people really began to wonder if Jazmine was actually uplifting women or just tearing them down for engagement. And spoiler alert, The internet doesn't play nice with hypocrisy. You know that saying, what goes around comes around? Yeah, well, Jazmine Tan's entire online career just face planted. And it wasn't some dramatic, movie-worthy downfall. It was like watching someone trip down an escalator in slow motion. Painful, awkward, and completely avoidable. The moment people started piecing it all together, fake social experiments, contradictions, unnecessary digs at women, the backlash was instant. Her once loyal fan base? Yeah, not so loyal anymore. Her comment sections turned into a war zone, with fans demanding answers and others straight up roasting her hypocrisy. And how did Jazmine handle it all? With grace? With accountability? With a well-thought-out apology? Nope, she doubled down. Oh well, that settles it then. Everyone, pack it up. Jazmine still likes herself, so I guess everything's fine. Case closed. And just in case that wasn't enough, she had even more to say. Right, because nothing screams self-awareness like publicly dragging the very people you claim to be done with. But sure, let's act like this was the plan all along. Here's the reality. A non-apology is so much worse than just owning up. Because when you get caught being fake, doubling down only makes you look even faker. The internet might forgive a mistake, maybe even two, but an entire career built on contradictions, backpedaling, and fake empowerment? Yeah, that's the kind of thing people remember. And it's not just about Jazmine's reputation, it's about the message this sends. If you build a brand on self-love but quietly push insecurity, if you preach girl code but have no issue tearing other women down, if you tell your audience to ignore men only to flip the script when it suits you, eventually, people stop listening. The shift in her audience's reaction was immediate. Fans who once flooded her comments with Yas Queen and Preach were now hitting her with a brutal reality check. So the real question is, can Jazmine Tan make a comeback? Well, let's break it down. The classic influencer redemption arc. We've seen it play out a million times, haven't we? Step 1. Vanish for just the right amount of time, long enough for people to cool off, but not so long that they completely move on. Step 2. Stage a grand return with a polished apology video, complete with soft piano music and just the right amount of deep sighs for emotional effect. Step 3. Reinvent yourself. Maybe start a podcast. Maybe embark on a self-growth journey. Either way, make sure the audience believes you've changed, without actually taking any real accountability. Now, will Jazmine follow this exact script? Probably. But the real question is, will people buy it? Because here's the thing. People don't just want words, they want proof. They want to see actual growth, not just a PR stunt. And so far, Jazmine hasn't exactly shown that self-awareness is in her wheelhouse. Instead of acknowledging her mistakes, she's been busy gaslighting her audience into thinking they're the problem. Instead of addressing the Pinterest lie, she's acted like it never happened. Instead of admitting that her self-love brand was full of contradictions, she's probably just brainstorming another viral distraction as we speak. And honestly, that might work for a little while. But the internet has a long memory, and once you lose people's trust, getting it back is nearly impossible. Oh, what's next for Jazmine Tan? Will she go the predictable influencer redemption route? Will she keep acting like nothing ever happened? Or, crazy thought, will she actually take a step back, own up to her actions, and make some real changes? Let me know what you think in the comments. Can she recover from this, or is her brand officially done for? And while you're here, don't miss my deep dive on another influencer who never saw their downfall coming. Trust me, you won't want to skip this one.